Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Alright, so hi guys, today I'll be doing a foundation review, and today's foundation review is gonna be on the L'Oreal True Match foundation. So I originally bought I actually bought one foundation before I bought the other. So about almost a year now, I bought the L'Oreal True Match in N7 Classic Tan, and this is how it looks. So obviously this was just a tad bit lighter, so I decided to go one shade up. So I went to the N8 Cappuccino, and this is my perfect skin color. So these are these two right here. So let me just talk about these before I get into the actual review of the one that actually matches me. So the older version that I have has SPF 17 in it, so it has sunscreen in it. But the newer version, and this one, it's marked on it, I doubt you guys will be able to see, so let me just read it. It says no truer color, and this one is without SPF. So I don't know what that is about, but I'm kind of sad that SPF isn't in it, because this would totally be my everyday foundation if SPF was in it, because you know the sun is extremely hot here in Jamaica and we always use sunscreen. But yeah, so what I do is sometimes I use this for a highlight, and then I use this for my all over face. For reference, down in the description box I'm gonna leave all the foundations that I own and my shades in them, so that if you own any of those foundations you can kind of see if N8 Cappuccino would be your color. So yeah, and by the way, let me just say this, in MAC I am an NC50. So if you are an NC50 in MAC, you can definitely go and pick up the N8 Cappuccino. So now into the actual review. So for the foundation, let me just tell you the pricing. So the price range is between $6 and $7, and I got mine for I think like $7, but here in Jamaica I paid $1,346. I don't know if you guys can see that for this one, but in the US dollars it's either $6 or $7. So I bought this one online. So yeah, for this foundation, usually the L'Oreal True Match, their base thing is that they have a wide range of colors to match any skin tone. So I think that was the emphasis for this foundation line. But in the older version, as I showed you guys before, the main thing about that foundation was that it was supposed to prevent sunburns. So for this one, I don't see any claims on it. Usually I read the claims of the foundation, but I don't see any claims. It only claims to match your complexion really well. So let me just tell you guys about how I like this foundation, or what I like and what I don't like. So first thing, for the coverage is basically light to medium. Stay tuned also for the end of this video, because I did do a demo video so you guys can see how well it covered my spots. You've seen the video like before, the spots that I have. See, I still have one coming through right here. So that goes to show that the coverage is really light to medium. It's light if you don't build it up. With one very light coat, it's light, but if you kind of add a second coat to it, you will get to a medium coat. I don't think it will be a full coverage foundation for me personally, because it doesn't really cover my acne scars no matter how much I add. So you'll need a concealer with that. If you have like really bad acne scarring on your skin, you'll definitely need a concealer. But other from that, I found that this foundation is best applied when I use it with a stipple brush, and this is the brush that I use with it. So when I use it with like a beauty blender, I use my Real Techniques brush. When I use it, it sucks up a lot of the product, and that's where I really get light coverage. I can't get to a medium coverage if I use this one, because it sucks up so much of the product. And also for that, like these buffer brushes, it can get the job done, but you'll have to use more product. So I find that the best thing to use is this. So for the demo video, what I did is I moisturized my face. I didn't tell you guys in the video what I did. So I used the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. For primer, I used the Neutrogena Shine Control Primer. And as I said before, I applied with my stippling brush, and you guys will see that I put a towel on top of me, because when I'm using my stippling brush with that product, it kind of flashes, and if I have on my clothes, one day I actually had to change my top because it actually flashed and messed up my clothes. Yeah. Oh, another thing about this foundation is extremely runny. If you put it on the back of my hand, you'll see in the video that it literally runs out, and I don't like that it doesn't have a pump either, because you know, I always throw out more product than I actually need. So I'm really bummed out that a lot of these brands don't decide to get a pump with their bottles. Again, the bottle is a glass bottle. I'm actually not a fan of glass bottles, but you know, I'll work with it. So what comes in this foundation. You get 1 fluid ounce of product, and I think that's the standard amount of foundation that you get in a foundation bottle. So that's 1 fluid ounce of product. And as I said before, if you have acne scarring, so you'll use up that product a lot more. So let me just tell you guys about the pros and cons. For me, I'll be looking now because I made notes of these. For me, the first pro is that there's no smell to this foundation. That's always a pro to me because I don't like scented things, especially if it's foundation. I don't see why companies need to add scent to a foundation. I just negate it. But I'm glad that it doesn't have a scent, so that's a win-win in my book. Number 2, it matches my skin complexion to a T. I was a little bummed out when I got this and I was just like, it doesn't match, but I decided to give it a try, so I went for the N8 Cappuccino. And as you guys can see, it matches, like, this is my neck and this is the foundation. It matches so good. It's not oily. This foundation is not oily, however you do have to set it. You have to set it really well. And that brings me to talk about the L'Oreal True Match. So I decided to pair it up with this, so you can get to full coverage if you use the foundation along with the powder. I'd recommend using the powder, the same powder. But if any one of you have the L'Oreal True Match, both the powder and the foundation, let me know down below if the powder is a little bit darker than the foundation, because I definitely think that my powder is darker than my foundation. I don't know if it's because it's in the press form or what, but if any of you have that and have experienced that, just comment down below. But I would definitely recommend using these two together because it will get you up to a full coverage look, and I think it complements the foundation really well. So I did use this as my powder in the video as well, the demo video. And at the end of this video, I will have pictures of how, of course I highlighted and contoured now, so my face is going to look a lot different. But at the end of the video, I will have pictures of me just in the foundation and the powder, both flash pictures and pictures with non-flash, so you guys can see how the foundation looked. So that brings me to say something. As it relates to flash photography, I wouldn't recommend wearing this foundation if you're going to be taking pictures with flash or pictures in the night. You'll see in the natural looking, the daylight pictures that I have, that this looks awesome. It matches my skin perfect. But in the flash, it looks like I have 2 different colors right here, and you can see now that that's not the case. That is definitely not the case. So flash made the foundation look horrible on my face. It made it look like I didn't try to blend it or that it just didn't match along here. But in daylight, it's perfect. So this is not a foundation for flash. Another pro is that it is cheap. $6 or $7, you try this foundation, you can't lose. You didn't spend, it's not even $10 yet. I'm big on cheap foundations that get the job done, and this is one that I really like as well. It's not my favorite all-time foundation, but it's a very good foundation. The wide color range again is a pro. Usually when I have other foundation shades, and for instance this is N8 and N7, this would normally be too dark and this would be too light, and then I'd have to get the two and mix them to get my complexion. But it's great that I actually have a neck shade that actually matches me, that I don't have to mix between 2 shades and get my foundation shade, if you get what I'm saying. So N7 and N8 I didn't have to mix. N8 is definitely my color. So yeah, that's all the pros. The cons, it's not heavy coverage, but the company didn't claim that it was going to be heavy coverage, so I can't knock them for that. Of course there's no pump, that's always a con. But consider this drugstore and consider the price that you paid for it. Can you even complain? No, you can't complain. But yeah, that was my foundation reviews, guys. Stay tuned for the end of the video for the demo and the pictures that I will have. I'll have pictures without me highlighting and contouring, so that you guys can get the full or the true color of the foundation. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy this video, thumbs up. Don't forget to check out the description box down below. I'll have all the foundations that I have, so that if you are in a shade in those foundations, you can figure out if N8 is your color. And yeah, stay tuned for more reviews. Alright guys, so what I use for my all over face, in case you were wondering, for my highlights I just use the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is in Cool Tan. This is not naturally my highlight concealer that I use. I usually use Fawn, but I have this, so I'm trying to use it up. And then to set that highlight, I use the Ben Nye Banana powder. This is not the banana, this is Topaz. I can't find banana right now, so I use that. And to blend that out, to blend out the concealer, I use the e.l.f. Mist and Set along with the Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. For my blush, I use the NYX blush in Terracotta, and for highlights, I use the e.l.f. e.l.f. Healthy Glow bronzing powder, and this is in Sun Kissed. And this is like my favorite highlighter now. And for lipstick, I just use the MAC lipstick in Flat Out Fabulous, and this is how it looks. It's a really nice matte pink. This is like my favorite pink. And for lashes, I just use the e.l.f. Flirty Lash Collection, and I use the N ones. You know, it's not a full lash, it just has the ends. I don't remember what you call those lashes now, but that's what I'm wearing. And what else did I use? Oh, for eyeshadows, I just used the LA Girl Pro Primer stick thingy in black, and then on top of that I use the Coastal Scents Hot Pot in Deep Grape, and in my crease here I use the Coastal Scents Hot Pot in Amethyst, and for down on my bottom lash line I just added some Deep Grape and a little Incognito to the ends of my lashes, to the ends of my bottom lash line. And yeah, that's all I'm wearing on my face pretty much today, apart from the foundation that I reviewed. So that was just for anybody who was curious. So again, I'll see you guys in my next video.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.